Hello, everyone. So we are going to be talking about Tony Hsieh, what he's done as a CEO of the Zappos Corporation, how he has created what was a shoe company and made it an example of the power of company culture and how that can be a competitive advantage within a market. Um, our number one priority is company culture. Our whole belief is that if you get the culture right, most of the other stuff like delivering great customer service or building a long-term enduring brand will just happen naturally on its own. So for Hsieh, his focus has long been on creating the unique culture that Zappos has. Now, how would you assess him as a boss? To start off, I'm going to show a quick video uh, that will cover.
He lives in a trailer surrounded by farm animals and only owns 4 pairs of shoes. This does not sound like a description of someone who's nearly a billionaire. But the man you're about to meet is not your average CEO. Tonight, ABC's Rebecca Jarvis gets a look inside his world.
It's 8 a.m. in Las Vegas, and while most of the strip still sound asleep, downtown, a whole different kind of morning.
I've probably lived 10 places in my entire life, and this is definitely my favorite so far.
We're meeting Tony Hsieh. Worth nearly $1 billion, he's the 41-year-old CEO of online shoe company Zappos, who owns just 4 pairs of shoes.
Welcome to my home.
And his favorite place to live, this 240 square foot trailer.
Refrigerator, there's a shower, bathroom.
Inviting our cameras in exclusively to show us around.
This converts
As well.
into a bed, that
Yeah.
converts into a bed, and this is your workspace.
Yep. The rent here is $950 a month.
$950
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah.
So you got a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
You are definitely different than your typical billionaire CEO.
I care a lot more about experiences than stuff.
Introducing us to his neighbors, like his pet alpaca, Marley, and 4 chickens.
So this alpaca just runs free around here.
Yeah.
What do
And
you
he likes
feed him?
carrots. He likes carrots.
An unconventional home for what might just be the world's most unconventional CEO, investing $350 million rebuilding downtown Las Vegas.
$50 million was to invest in small businesses to help create a sense of neighborhood and community and make downtown Vegas more walkable.
And just a few blocks away, Zappos headquarters, where Tony has thrown out the traditional corporate rulebook.
Come on, Tony.
Gone are the titles, dress code, and corporate hierarchy.
I love him.
Instead, meetings in this Star Wars-themed conference room.
Who does the decorating around here?
We really leave it up to employees.
It's all part of a big push by Tony towards something called a holacracy.
Who's the boss?
We're the boss.
You're the boss.
We're the boss.
Essentially removing upper management and letting employees run the show.
Do you ever fight with each other?
No, we love each other.
The employees even determine their own salaries.
We have a budget that we are allowed, and there's 8 of us that we determine how our pay would be.
So, could this be the model of the future?
You want to go to work. You want to be here even on your day off.
Some say, if the shoe fits. For Nightline, I'm Rebecca Jarvis in New York.
Setup of most corporations. Like many people always have a hierarchy of management, upper management to CEO, CFO, that kind of traditional deal. He has tried to create a corporation in which people have a lot of their own power. And as a boss, some of the things he's done to help promote his business, his mission, and what his focus have been incredible. As you saw in the video, investing in the surrounding area, he helped create this culture outside of the company as well, creating this neighborhood and giving back not only to the employees, but to those in the surrounding area. This is a fantastic PR move, or HR move, and it has helped establish him as a name and also to everyone in the surrounding area. By giving his employees more freedom, he works directly with his employees in creating strong relationships, As a boss, he is heavily at the forefront, making sure that his goals are moving forward. Now, as a leader, as I stated before, he promotes the culture he creates publicly and to his employees. He is working with his employees each day. It's not like some of the more traditional business models where you see the CEO, only come in for a meeting with the higher ups and he just walks past your cubicle. No, he's there, he's interacting. It creates a powerful message and it shows almost a kinship with his employees. Um, by helping to create this positive culture, his employees want to go to work. As you saw by the individual in the video, he said he was excited to go to work, and even on his days off, he enjoyed going to the company. Now, this success, this model, has been an incredible thing because Jeff Bezos of Amazon purchased Zappos in 2009. Now, traditionally, when a company is bought or there's a merger of some sort, the original model, the mission statement, those get changed, those get adapted. That has not been the case for Zappos. Hsieh has still been primarily in charge, and he has been allowed to continue his work. And I think one of the biggest examples of Hsieh as a leader is that he leads by example. He genuinely believes in the culture. Going through and doing the research for this, there were many videos in which he was doing guest lectures or speaking with the news about the importance of creating a good business culture. This included TED Talks. And again, living by example, he lives close to his work and he honestly lives, aside from the alpaca, rather modestly. And that creates a strong public image. It shows more of he's a real person rather than that usual separation between CEO and regular employee. Now, their mission statement, which I've talked about a couple times, their focus is on customer service. I personally thought this was really, really clever. Zappos is a customer service company that just happens to sell shoes. Now, when they talk about caring for the customer, it's not just, oh, they'll come in and help. It's a personal connection between employee and customer. For example, they had one customer that would just stayed on the phone and talked for 8 hours. That was the record of the company, and they said that record has actually been broken since. They sent flowers to a customer whose mom had just passed away. Again, showing genuine concern, not just a dry letter or Christmas card that you may have forgotten you signed a week ago. This business model not only has helped with their reputation, but it also has made it so over 60% of their customers are return customers. The experience was so enjoyable, they kept coming back. Now, the workplace culture is eccentric, to say the very least. As you saw, there were decorations everywhere that the employees were allowed to do. There's no dress code. As you saw, there was a woman on a treadmill wearing sweats. They don't care. Salaries are budget-based and on earnings, the lack of management. There's no set hierarchy. It creates a culture that is much more connected. Again, traditional business models have a natural separation, whether it be from the hierarchy set up between employee, management, upper management, CEO. Here, there's no set hierarchy. Everyone is working together towards one goal. Now, with this kind of culture, it's going to appeal to some people, and it's definitely going to scare off a couple of other individuals looking for employment. Those likely to work at a place like Zappos, they have to be open for change. They have to be excited about what's coming in the future. What development can they find next? In addition, self-motivated people are extremely important for a company like Zappos because they have control of how they work. Now, in contrast, those not likely to want to join would be those who want the stability of the traditional workplace. So, the focus, the management strategies, be more along the lines of being told how to work and how to do it. Those not fond of change would not fit in well because Zappos is constantly evolving, constantly moving, much more than a traditional corporation. And on a smaller note, those who have a preference towards the traditional workplace standards, the dress code, some may not like the decorations, some may just not like the energy and the lack of separation. Now, the competitive implications of what Hsieh is doing is actually fantastic because it ignores the traditional models used. He doesn't focus on competing through price, but having the best customer service. This is what gives them a competitive advantage versus competitors. Again, remember that 60%, over 60% of customers are return customers. Their experience at Zappos was so pleasant, they wanted to come back and repeat that experience. Now, in what happens next, this model is effective, but it has had to evolve due to internal concerns. As was said in the video, at the time, or currently I should say, they have a holacracy. Now, what that is a decentralized system meant to distribute decision-making throughout the organization. Fancier terminology basically means people are working together as a unit rather than being told from a higher up who then dispenses that information through the managers. However, they have to change over to a market-based system, or at least that is the current system they are working towards. Just because some of the flaws that were existing beforehand, as you can imagine, setting your own salary in some people's hands may not have gone in the most honest direction. And Hsieh has had to intervene into these individual systems and decisions on a number of occasions. So as of 2020, they are now transitioning to a market-based system. So now, market-based system, how it would work, what is this? For Zappos and how they're going to be doing this, the company would consist of individual teams working to make new products and services. These individual teams would be incentivized to create new goods. Lastly, they work with and against each other in Zappos to earn budget money. So what this means in a nutshell is that the corporation is going from one cohesive unit, or at least it was attempting to be, to separating these groups in individual teams to develop new ideas, create new services, and be the best that they can be. So it creates almost a ladder system of this person, this group has succeeded, this group has succeeded, group has not met standards, just along those lines. And those that succeed the most will receive the most funding. They will get bonuses. But again, the interesting part of this system is they are not funded. These individual groups have to get funding either from the company or from outside sources, or in certain cases from each other. Now, there are positives and there are negatives to this idea. The positives, faster decision making because you don't need approval from upper management. You are an individual team. You have set it up, so maybe there is someone who's the choice individual, maybe there's someone in design, but your team is structured however it would need to be for whatever product or service you're doing. Revenue would be much faster in terms of earnings. Idea development would become competitive, and workers would constantly need to develop new products and services. This would mean that Zappos as a corporation would be constantly an innovator in its individual market. Now, there are concerns with having individual groups in your own company being competitive against each other. The culture that Hsieh has spent so much time trying to develop and cultivate and has used as a model for such a long time could actually be damaged, because when you go from everyone is helping each other, there's no boss, to suddenly here is a bunch of individual groups all trying to make money and all trying to move forward, I don't think this could create as much of a cohesive or fun environment. If anything, it might pull in that old psychology thing of us versus them. Friendships may be dissolved. Making people competitive against each other and in your own group has dangers. In addition, on a financial perspective, while revenue can be earned faster, losses can also come in a lot faster. So if someone makes a gut choice or a quick decision, that decision could backfire completely. And if that happens on a larger scale, maybe multiple people went for the same investment, losses could come at a much faster rate. And thank you. Have a good day.